They thought they understood combat, until met humanity's finest warriors. The Varkans had fought countless battles across the galaxy, and they believed no one could challenge them. Commander Lyric Talon stood on the bridge of the Varkan flagship, Dreadspear. His eyes scanned the holographic battle map, watching the small blue planet below. "We know their patterns," he said to his officers. "They are primitive. This should be an easy strike." Beside him, Lieutenant Rava Kren adjusted the targeting display. "Sensors detect minimal defenses, Commander. Atmospheric shields are basic, and their fleets are small." "They will fall fast," Lyric smirked. "Good, prepare the strike drones. We move at first light." The Varkans were arrogant. They did not know that the humans on this planet were not ordinary. Humans had faced threats that the Varkans could not imagine, and they had survived. They had grown strong, clever, and fearless, even in the face of impossible odds. On the surface, in the heart of a vast human city called Grayson, Captain Luke Harper prepared his team. The city was quiet tonight, but the tension in the air was thick. Luke was not young, but his body was strong and his mind was sharp. He had trained for years for situations like this, though he had hoped they would never come. "Team," Luke said, gathering his 4 soldiers. Each of them was an expert in their field. Mara Collins was the weapons specialist, able to turn any object into a deadly tool. Ethan Moore was the tech genius, capable of hacking almost anything electronic. Lily Carson was the scout, fast, quiet, and precise. And Daniel Brooks was the strategist who could predict enemy movements before they happened. "We have visitors," Luke said simply, "not the friendly kind." Mara raised an eyebrow. "Visitors? You mean the ones our satellites spotted?" "Yes," Luke replied. "They think this will be an easy planet to conquer. They have no idea what we can do." Ethan checked the sensors on their ship. "Captain, their fleet is large, very large. They're already in orbit. If they drop even a small force, the city could be destroyed." Luke nodded. "Then we do what we do best. We fight smart, we fight fast, and we make them regret thinking we were easy prey." The humans worked quietly through the night. They set traps in the streets, hacked the city's defense grids, and prepared weapons that could counter the alien technology. Everything was precise, calculated, and efficient. Meanwhile, high above, the Varkan fleet made its first move. Drones and fighter ships descended toward the planet, their engines glowing bright against the dark sky. They believed they would strike fear into the humans, that the humans would scatter and surrender. But as the first drones approached the atmosphere, something unexpected happened. Human fighter jets, small and seemingly fragile compared to the massive alien ships, streaked through the sky. They moved like shadows, attacking with precision. Mara was in the command center, her fingers flying over the controls. "Drones are breaking formation," she said. "They didn't expect resistance this fast." Luke watched the radar, his eyes sharp. "Good. Let them underestimate us. That's the mistake most enemies make." The first contact was brutal. Alien drones tried to fire their plasma cannons at the humans, but the humans had adapted. Shields activated, countermeasures deployed, and the drones fell one by one. It was not just firepower that saved them. It was skill, strategy, and instinct. On the ground, small teams moved quickly through the streets, taking positions on rooftops and in alleyways. Lily ran across the rooftops, her movements fast and silent. She took careful aim at the Varkan drones, firing shots that disabled the engines of the attackers. Daniel coordinated their efforts through a secure channel. "Team Alpha, take the North Street. Team Beta, cover the South. Keep them trapped in the central plaza. Don't let them spread." The Varkans were shocked. Their advanced technology could not predict this. Humans were chaotic in a way that machines could not calculate. They were thinking, reacting, and learning faster than any algorithm could. Lyric Talon clenched his jaw on the bridge of the Dreadspire. "How can they? This is impossible." Rava Kren looked at him, fear creeping into her expression. "Commander, they are organized and relentless. They adapt faster than our simulations predicted. Lyric's eyes burned with frustration. Prepare more drones, target the humans. Show them the might of the Varkan Empire. But the humans were ready. They had predicted this, and as the new wave of drones descended, they launched a counterattack. Ethan hacked into the alien targeting systems, sending false signals that caused the drones to collide with one another. Mara and Luke coordinated the attack from their positions on the ground, picking off any that escaped the confusion. Hours passed. The city of Grayson trembled under the onslaught, but the humans did not break. They were tired, but their determination was stronger than any fear. Meanwhile, Commander Lyric realized something terrifying. These humans were not just soldiers, they were warriors. They fought not for survival alone, but for something greater, their home, their people, and their way of life. And this was something the Varkans could not understand. "Commander," Rava said, voice tight, they are extraordinary. I've never seen such coordination, such fearlessness." Lyric's hands tightened around the console. "Prepare the fleet for full assault. If they survive this, I will personally lead the attack." But Luke Harper knew that victory would not come from numbers alone. He had a plan, and his team trusted him completely. Every move was deliberate. Every trap, every counter, every shot was calculated. The humans would show the Varkans that brute force alone could not defeat them. As the first rays of Kalis IX's sun began to light the horizon, the battle had already begun. The city streets were a mix of fire and smoke. Alien drones lay in ruined piles, and human warriors moved silently, preparing for the next wave. From orbit, the Varkan fleet observed the chaos. Ships that had faced entire fleets across the galaxy were being destroyed one by humans who seemed fragile, almost insignificant. "Commander," Rava said again, fear now plain in her voice, "we underestimated them." We are not ready for this." Lyric's jaw tightened. Pride and fear warred inside him. "Then we will not underestimate them again," he said. "We will crush them, we have to." But the humans did not wait for the full force of the Varkan Empire to hit. They were ready. They were clever, bold, and fearless. And above all, they were human. As Luke Harper led his team across the broken streets, he smiled grimly. "Let them come. They thought they understood combat. They have no idea what's coming." The dawn of battle had arrived, and the humans were ready to prove themselves to the galaxy. The morning sun painted the sky orange and pink over Grayson City. Smoke rose from damaged buildings, and the sounds of battle echoed through the streets. But the humans were not afraid. They had faced danger before, and they were ready for what was coming next. Captain Luke Harper stood on the edge of a broken skyscraper, looking down at the streets below. His team spread out, each member moving like shadows among the ruins. The Varkans had retreated for a moment, regrouping their forces in orbit. That gave the humans a short window to strike back. "Listen up," Luke said, his voice calm but firm. "We hit them while they are reorganizing. We take out their supply ships first. Without them, they can't keep this fight going." Mara Collins checked her weapons. "I'm ready. They won't know what hit them." Ethan Moore was already at the console, fingers moving rapidly over the keyboard. "I can hack into their communication channels. We can confuse them from the inside while you attack outside." Lily Carson crouched on a rooftop, scanning for enemy drones. "I'll clear the sky. No one gets past me." Daniel Brooks adjusted his earpiece. "I'll guide you through the streets." "They will try to regroup, but I know the best way to trap them." Luke nodded. "Then let's move. Time is our ally." Below them, the city was a maze of broken streets, rubble, and fire. But the humans were not slowed. They moved with purpose, knowing every shortcut, every alley, and every vantage point. In orbit, the Varkan commander, Lyric Talon, watched the humans with frustration. "How can they fight like this?" he muttered. "We have technology far beyond them, yet they survive." Rava Kren shook her head. "Commander, they are unpredictable, they are fast and clever. Our sensors cannot keep up with them." Lyric's hands clenched the console. Then we change tactics. Bring in the boarding ships. I want them captured, alive. I want to understand how these humans think. But the humans were already in motion. Ethan had hacked into the Varkan supply ships, sending false signals that made their engines fail. Mara and Lily set explosives along the streets, preparing traps for any Varkan soldiers who tried to land. "Look at that," Lily whispered, watching a Varkan drone crash into a building. "One less to worry about." Daniel guided the team through the streets. "This way. They will try to regroup at the central plaza. That's where we hit them hardest." The humans moved silently, their presence almost invisible. But when the time came, their attack was sudden and devastating. Explosives blew open the doors of Varkan landing ships. Mara fired her rifle with deadly precision, taking out the first wave of alien soldiers. Lily's arrows struck with perfect accuracy, disabling drones in midair. Ethan's hacks caused confusion among the Varkans, making them attack each other by mistake. Even though the Varkans had advanced technology, they were not prepared for human ingenuity. Humans did not rely on numbers alone. They used strategy, speed, and intelligence. From the sky, Luke watched the chaos unfold. "Good work, team. Keep pushing. Don't let them recover." Varkan soldiers were stunned. Their superior weapons could not overcome the humans' clever tactics. Every attack they made was met with a counter. Every move they tried was anticipated. Lyric Talan's frustration grew. "Commander, our boarding teams are failing." They are too fast, too clever. How can this be?" Rava Kren's voice shook. "Commander, they are extraordinary. I've never seen such coordination. They are not just fighting, they are thinking, adapting." Lyric slammed his fist against the console. "Prepare the warships. I want maximum firepower. Destroy everything if you must." But Luke and his team were already ahead. They had a plan for the Varkan warships too. Ethan sent a virus into the enemy ship's systems, temporarily disabling weapons and shields. Mara and Daniel organized small squads to take down enemy boarding parties, while Lily kept the skies clear of drones. On the ground, human soldiers moved with precision. They used every tool at their disposal: hacking, explosives, firearms, and hand-to-hand combat. They knew the streets, the buildings, and the environment. Every corner, every building was an advantage for them. A Varkan captain landed his troops near the central plaza, expecting an easy victory. But Daniel had predicted this. "Trap them here," he whispered through his earpiece. As the Varkan soldiers moved into the plaza, hidden humans triggered a series of traps. Explosives went off, cutting off exits. Smoke filled the air, blinding the enemy. Mara and Lily fired from hidden positions, taking out key targets. Chaos spread among the Varkan troops. Luke led his team through the middle of the fight, fearless and calm. He struck with precision, avoiding unnecessary risks, but his attacks were devastating. Every move he made inspired his team. By mid-morning, the Varkan forces in the city were struggling. Drones crashed, soldiers were trapped, and supply lines were cut. The humans had turned the city into a battlefield only they could control. In orbit, Lyric Talan realized the severity of the situation. "They are not ordinary," he said quietly. "They are something more." Rava Kren looked at him. "Commander, they are humans, but they are extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it." Lyric's pride would not allow him to admit defeat. "Then we change tactics," he said. "Send the heavy warships. Burn the city if we have to. Crush them." But even with heavy ships in orbit, the humans had prepared for this. Ethan had set up electromagnetic pulses around key areas, temporarily disabling the warship's targeting systems. Mara and Lily struck fast and precise, taking out drones before they could regroup. Luke knew this fight was more than survival. It was a message. Humans were not weak, and they would not bow to superior numbers or technology. Every victory, every tactical move showed the Varkans that humans were unpredictable, clever, and fearless. Hours passed. The Varkan fleet above struggled to regain control, while humans on the ground pushed forward with relentless determination. Smoke and fire filled the streets, but the humans moved through it like shadows, striking from unexpected angles. Daniel guided his team through the chaos. "We take the North Quadrant next," he said. "There's a Varkan command center there. If we take it, we disrupt their coordination entirely." Lily leapt across rooftops, silently taking out drones in her path. Mara and Ethan worked together to breach the command center's defenses. Luke led the final push, moving through the enemy with calm precision. Inside the command center, Varkan officers struggled to maintain control. "Commander Lyric," one shouted, "we can't hold them. They are too fast, too clever." Lyric's voice boomed through the communication channel. "Do not fail. Do not let them win." But the humans were unstoppable. With careful planning, bravery, and skill, they overtook the command center. Mara disabled the security systems, Ethan hijacked the communications, and Lily and Daniel took down the remaining Varkan soldiers. Luke led the final charge, ensuring no enemy could escape. Outside, the battle raged on, but the humans' efforts were paying off. The Varkans were disoriented, their forces scattered, and their confidence shaken. Luke looked at his team, sweat on their faces, determination in their eyes. "We are not done yet," he said, "but this is how we fight. We are human, and no one can break that." Even as the Varkan fleet continued to regroup, they could not ignore the reality on the ground. Humans were different. Humans were stronger, faster, and smarter than anyone had imagined. They were not ordinary soldiers, they were warriors. Lyric Talon stared at the battle unfolding on the city's surface. Pride, fear, and anger fought inside him. "This is impossible," he whispered. "No army should be able to do this." But the humans continued their advance. Every step, every tactic, every victory reinforced the same truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were the finest warriors the galaxy had ever seen, and the Varkans were learning this lesson the hard way. By midday, Grayson City was a battlefield. Smoke and fire rose from broken buildings, and the sound of explosions echoed across the streets. But the humans moved with calm focus, each member of Captain Luke Harper's team knowing exactly what to do. They had turned the city into a fortress and a trap, and the Varkans were starting to realize they were not dealing with ordinary humans. Luke crouched behind a crumbling wall, observing the approaching Varkan reinforcements. "They think they can take us by force," he said quietly. "Let's show them what humans can really do." Mara Collins adjusted her rifle. "I'm ready. Let them come." Ethan Moore worked on the control panel, sending false readings to the Varkan ships above. "Their targeting systems are still confused," he said. "We can use that to our advantage." Lily Carson ran along the rooftops, her movements fast and silent. "I've got the sky covered," she said through her earpiece. "No drone gets past me." Daniel Brooks examined the street layout through a holographic map. "They will try to regroup at the central tower," he said. "That's where we hit next. I'll guide you." Luke nodded. "Good. Stick to the plan. Precision, speed, and coordination. That's how we win." Below them, Varkan soldiers marched into the city, confident that their numbers and weapons would overwhelm the humans. But as they entered the streets, explosions tore through their lines. Hidden traps and human snipers picked them off one by one. Every move they made was anticipated, every advance countered. Captain Lyric Talon watched from orbit, frustration and disbelief burning in his eyes. "Why are they still holding?" he shouted. "They should be falling by now." Rava Kren glanced at the display. "Commander, they are extraordinary. Their strategy is unlike anything we have faced." Lyric's hands clenched into fists. "Then we escalate. Prepare the heavy assault units. This ends today." But Luke and his team were already several steps ahead. Ethan had hacked into the Varkan assault units, causing engines to fail and weapons to misfire. Mara and Lily picked off the remaining drones with deadly accuracy. Daniel led human squads through the streets, flanking and trapping the enemy at every turn. Even with advanced technology, the Varkans were losing control. The humans fought not just with weapons, but with intelligence, courage, and teamwork. As the Varkan reinforcements faltered, Luke called out to his team, "Focus on the central tower. That's where the command signals come from. Take it, and we disrupt their entire operation." The team moved quickly, covering each other as they advanced. Explosions shook the streets, but they pressed on, determined to reach their target. Mara planted charges along the tower's base, while Lily disabled drones patrolling the area. Ethan hacked into the security systems, opening locked doors and causing alarms to misfire. Daniel guided the squad through side passages, avoiding direct confrontation where possible. Luke led the charge up the tower's stairs, each step calculated, each move precise. They reached the control room at the top, where Varkan officers tried to maintain order, but it was too late. The humans stormed the room, and with coordinated efficiency, they disabled the command systems. "Command center secure," Luke said. "Send the coordinates to Ethan. Let's shut down the rest of their fleet." Ethan worked quickly, relaying instructions to the human squads throughout the city. "The Varkan ships are losing power," he said. "Their targeting systems are down. We have control." Mara fired from the windows, taking out any Varkan soldiers attempting to escape. Lily guarded the perimeter, ensuring no drones or reinforcements could enter. Daniel coordinated with human teams in other parts of the city, trapping the remaining enemy forces. From orbit, Lyric Talan could only watch in disbelief. His fleet, the pride of the Varkan Empire, was being systematically dismantled by humans who seemed ordinary at first glance. But it was clear now, they were not ordinary. "They are unstoppable," Rava Kren whispered. "I've never seen anything like this." Lyric's pride refused to accept defeat. "Then we fight harder," he said. "Send in the warships, use everything we have, burn the city if we must." But the humans were ready. Luke had anticipated this move. With the city under human control, they had prepared defensive traps for heavy artillery. Explosives were placed in key locations. EMP devices disabled enemy systems, and squads were positioned to intercept boarding parties. The Varkans attacked with everything they had, but every assault was met with precision strikes. Humans moved quickly, using the city as their weapon. They struck from above, below, and the sides, making the Varkans feel like they were trapped in a labyrinth with no way out. Luke and his team fought with skill and bravery. Mara's shots were precise, taking down key targets. Lily's agility allowed her to neutralize drones before they could fire. Ethan's hacks disrupted communications, leaving the enemy confused. Daniel's guidance ensured the squads moved in perfect coordination. Hours passed, and the tide of battle began to turn. The Varkan forces, confident at the start, were now retreating in disorder. Their ships faltered, their soldiers were trapped, and their morale was breaking. In the central plaza, Luke watched the retreating enemy. "This is our chance," he said. "Push forward and finish this fight." The humans advanced, taking control of key positions. Varkan soldiers surrendered or fled, realizing that their technology and numbers could not overcome human ingenuity and courage. From orbit, Lyric Talan realized the truth. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors unlike any the galaxy had seen. His fleet was in chaos, and the pride of the Varkan Empire had been shattered by humans who refused to be intimidated. They are the finest warriors," Rava Kren said quietly. "We underestimated them." Lyric's pride burned, but he could not ignore the reality. Humans had won this battle, not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, courage, and unbreakable spirit. On the streets, Luke Harper looked at his team, exhausted but victorious. "This is only the beginning," he said. "They thought they understood combat. They have no idea what humanity is capable of." Mara wiped sweat from her brow. "They won't forget this day." Lily smiled faintly. Neither will we. Ethan leaned back against the wall, exhausted. We did it. We actually did it. Daniel nodded. This city is ours. And it will stay that way as long as we defend it. Luke looked at the horizon where the Varkan fleet still lingered. They will learn, he said quietly. Humans are not easy to defeat, and they will learn the hard way. The city of Grayson was damaged, but it stood. The humans had proven themselves, not just to the Varkans, but to the galaxy. They had shown that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome any odds. And as the sun set over the battlefield, one thing was clear. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, and no enemy could take that away. The Varkans would regroup, but they would never forget the day they faced humans at their finest. And the humans, led by Luke Harper and his team, would be ready for whatever came next. The city of Grayson was scarred by battle, but it was far from defeated. Smoke drifted through the streets, and buildings were partially destroyed, yet the humans moved among the ruins with calm precision. Captain Luke Harper's team had regrouped at a secure location, ready to continue the fight. They knew the Varkans would not give up easily. We've disrupted their command systems, Luke said, looking over the city map projected on a hologram. But the fleet is still in orbit. They're gathering their forces. We can't let them regroup. Mara Collins loaded her rifle, checking every round. Then we hit them again. Hard and fast. Ethan Moore tapped at his console, monitoring enemy communications. Their fleet is in disarray. Many ships are offline. We can take control of the orbit if we act quickly. Lily Carson scanned the horizon from the rooftop. Drones are still in the sky, but I can handle them. No one gets past me. Daniel Brooks studied the city's layout. I've marked all the streets where we can ambush them. If we trap their ground troops, the fleet will have nothing to support. Luke nodded. Good. Precision and coordination. That's how we win. Let's move. The humans divided into squads, each with a clear mission. Mara led one team to eliminate the remaining Varkan ground forces. Lily moved across the rooftops, taking out drones and providing cover. Ethan worked from a secure command post, hacking into the enemy's systems and feeding false information. Daniel guided human squads through the streets, setting traps and ambushes. From orbit, Commander Lyric Talon watched the chaos below with growing anger. How can they still resist? He demanded. We have destroyed entire worlds before. This should be easy. Rava Kren shook her head, fear creeping into her expression. Commander, they are not like any enemy we've faced. They are intelligent, adaptable, fearless. Lyric slammed his fist against the console. Send everything. Bring in the heavy warships. Crush them if you must. But the humans were ready. Luke had anticipated this. They had prepared the city with hidden explosives, EMP traps, and reinforced defensive positions. The Varkans would find no easy path to victory. As the first heavy warships descended, Ethan activated the EMP devices. Energy shields flickered and weapons malfunctioned. Mara and Lily struck from hidden positions, taking out the disoriented Varkan troops with deadly efficiency. Daniel guided human squads to flank the enemy, cutting off escape routes and trapping them in the streets. Luke led the main assault, moving through the battlefield with calm precision. Every shot, every move, every command was calculated. The humans fought not only with weapons but with strategy, intelligence, and courage. The Varkans struggled to adapt. Their technology was superior, but it could not overcome the humans' clever tactics. Every assault they launched was met with counterattacks, traps, and ambushes. On a rooftop, Lily fired at a hovering drone. The Varkan craft spun out of control and crashed into a building. One less problem, she muttered. Mara crouched behind a wall, picking off advancing soldiers. They can't hold us, she said. We're smarter, faster, and braver than they thought. Ethan's fingers flew over his console. I've hacked into the Varkan targeting network. Their ships are firing at each other. Total confusion. Daniel guided squads through the streets, leading Varkan soldiers into traps. Explosions shook the ground as charges detonated, blocking streets and cutting off enemy reinforcements. Luke moved through the city, checking on his team. "Keep pushing," he said. "Every position we take weakens them further. Show them what humans can do." As the hours passed, the humans' advantage grew. The Varkans were disorganized, their forces fragmented, and their morale weakening. The city, though damaged, was under human control, and every move the humans made demonstrated their skill, courage, and determination. From orbit, Lyric Talon realized the truth. They are extraordinary," he said quietly. "No army should be able to do this. They are humans, but how?" Rava Kren's voice shook. "Commander, we underestimated them. They are fearless. Nothing like anything we have ever faced." Lyric gritted his teeth. "Then we change tactics, use everything, no mercy, burn the city if we must." But Luke had anticipated this. Ethan had prepared additional EMP traps around key locations. Mara and Lily coordinated precise strikes to take out the remaining drones and troops. Daniel guided human squads to intercept any new forces attempting to land. The Varkans unleashed their heaviest assault yet, dropping soldiers and heavy artillery into the streets. But the humans were ready. Explosives went off at the perfect moment, destroying enemy vehicles and blocking routes. Mara fired with deadly accuracy, taking out key targets. Lily's agility allowed her to neutralize drones and soldiers before they could react. Ethan's hacks caused chaos in the enemy communication network, and Daniel's strategic guidance ensured human squads moved with perfect coordination. Luke led the final push toward the Varkan command center in the city. Every step was calculated, every move precise. They stormed the building, neutralizing enemy forces and taking control of the command systems. Outside, the remaining Varkan soldiers tried to regroup, but they were trapped. Human squads surrounded them, leaving no escape. Explosions and gunfire filled the air, and one by one the Varkans surrendered or were defeated. From orbit, Lyric Talon watched in disbelief. His fleet, the pride of the Varkan Empire, was failing. The humans had turned the battlefield into a fortress they could not overcome. Every ship, every soldier, every strategy was being dismantled by humans who seemed ordinary but were extraordinary in skill, courage, and determination. They are the finest warriors," Rava Kren whispered. "We underestimated them. We cannot defeat them." Lyric clenched his fists. Pride burned, but he had to face the truth. The humans were more than he had ever imagined. They were fearless, clever, and relentless. Luke Harper looked over the battlefield, exhausted but determined. "This is how humans fight," he said. "We do not back down, we adapt, we overcome, and we win." Mara wiped sweat from her brow. "They will remember this day." Lily smiled faintly. "We made them learn the hard way." Ethan leaned back against the wall, exhausted but satisfied. "We did it. We actually did it." Daniel nodded. "The city is ours, and we will defend it." Luke looked toward the horizon where the Varkan fleet still lingered. "They will come back," he said, "but we are ready. Humans do not give up. We never have, and we never will." Grayson City had survived. Humans had proven that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome even the most advanced and powerful enemy. The Varkans would regroup, but they would never forget the day they faced humans at their finest. And as the sun set over the battlefield, the humans stood tall. They had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. They were strong, clever, and fearless. The Varkans had learned a harsh lesson. Humans fight with heart, strategy, and courage, and no technology alone could defeat them. Captain Luke Harper looked at his team. "Tomorrow," he said quietly, "we show them that this fight is not over, and we will be ready for anything they throw at us." The humans were tired, but they were victorious. And the galaxy had just begun to see the true power of humanity. The morning sky over Grayson City was calm, but the tension in the air was heavy. Captain Luke Harper and his team surveyed the streets from a secure rooftop. The battle from the previous day had left the city in ruins, but it had also shown the Varkans that humans were not to be underestimated. "We have control of the city," Luke said, looking at the map projected by Ethan. "But the fleet in orbit is still out there. They'll try one last assault." Mara Collins tightened the straps of her gear. "Then we make sure it's their last." Ethan Moore tapped at the console. "I've infiltrated their communication network. They are debating what to do next. Most of their captains want to retreat, but Lyric won't allow it." Lily Carson scanned the skyline. "Drones are gathering again. I can take them out before they reach us." Daniel Brooks studied the street layout carefully. "I've set up traps all over the city. If they land, they'll walk right into them." Luke nodded. "Good, this is it. We fight smart, precise, and fast. We end this today." High above, Commander Lyric Talon clenched his jaw. "This city will fall. They cannot defeat the Varkan Empire. Send in the entire fleet. Leave nothing standing." Rava Kren looked uneasy. "Commander, they are extraordinary. Every attack we make fails. They are humans, and they are unlike anything we've faced." Lyric slammed his fist. "No excuses, crush them." The Varkan fleet descended with unmatched force. Massive warships hovered in the sky, their weapons ready to bombard the city. Boarding pods dropped from orbit, carrying elite Varkan soldiers. They believed overwhelming firepower and numbers would finally break the humans, but Luke Harper had anticipated this. "Remember, we fight as one. Precision, coordination, and courage. No mistake, no hesitation." Ethan activated the city's defensive network. EMP devices flashed across the streets, disabling the weapon systems of the incoming warships temporarily. Mara and Lily fired from hidden positions, picking off boarding pods before they touched the ground. Daniel guided human squads through streets and alleys, trapping Varkan soldiers in kill zones filled with explosives. The first wave of Varkans hit the city and found chaos waiting. Drones fell from the sky, their engines destroyed. Soldiers were ambushed at every corner, traps detonated with perfect timing, and the humans moved with unmatched speed and precision. Luke led the central assault with his team. Mara fired with deadly accuracy, taking out key targets. Lily moved across rooftops, neutralizing drones and soldiers with silent efficiency. Ethan disrupted communications and targeted systems, leaving the enemy confused and disorganized. Daniel coordinated human squads with perfect timing, ensuring no Varkan soldier could escape. Despite their advanced technology, the Varkans were overwhelmed. They had never faced an enemy like humans, smart, fearless, and coordinated. Every tactic they tried failed against the humans' adaptability and cunning. Hours passed, and the battle escalated. Explosions shook the streets, smoke filled the sky, and fire consumed sections of the city. But the humans pushed forward, relentless and unstoppable. Luke moved through the battlefield, checking on his team. "Keep advancing. Focus on the command center. If we take it, their entire fleet will lose coordination." Mara and Lily cleared the path to the center, eliminating remaining defenders. Ethan sent hacking signals to the enemy fleet, causing confusion among ships in orbit. Daniel guided squads to seal off escape routes, trapping the Varkan soldiers in the city. Inside the command center, Lyric Talon watched helplessly as humans systematically dismantled his plans. "Impossible," he muttered. "They are too clever, too fast. How can this be?" Rava Kren looked around the room, fear in her eyes. "Commander, they are humanity at their finest. We underestimated them. This is beyond anything we expected." Lyric's pride would not allow surrender, but the reality was clear. The humans had turned the battlefield into a fortress, and nothing he could do would regain the advantage. Luke and his team stormed the command center, neutralizing any resistance. Mara planted charges to disable the systems. Lily covered the perimeter. Ethan hacked into all remaining security systems, and Daniel directed squads to prevent any escape. Command systems offline, Ethan reported. The fleet is disorganized. They can't coordinate. Luke smiled faintly. Then we finish this. Move forward. Outside, the remaining Varkan soldiers tried to regroup, but it was too late. Trapped in the streets, disoriented and under constant attack, they had no chance. Explosions, sniper fire, and precise strikes from human squads forced the Varkans into complete retreat. Lyric watched from orbit, his fleet in chaos. Ships collided, weapons malfunctioned, and morale broke among the soldiers. He realized the truth. Humans were not ordinary. They were warriors of unmatched skill, courage, and adaptability. They are the finest warriors, Ravakren whispered. We cannot defeat them. Lyric clenched his fists, pride and fear battling inside him. Then we retreat, he muttered. The humans had proven their point. Grayson City, though damaged, had stood. The Varkans, once confident in their superiority, were forced to withdraw and rethink their strategy. They had faced humanity at its finest, and they had lost. Luke Harper gathered his team in the central plaza. We did it, he said quietly. We defended the city, we showed them what humans can do, but remember, this is just the beginning. There will be more challenges ahead. Mara wiped sweat from her brow, smiling faintly. They won't forget this day. Lily looked at the horizon. Neither will we. Ethan leaned back against the rubble, exhausted but satisfied. We did what many said was impossible, Daniel nodded. We fought smart, together, and fearless. That's what makes humans the finest warriors. Luke looked out over the city. Smoke still rose from the streets and fire burned in some buildings, but the people were safe. They had survived. They had triumphed. The Varkans had learned a harsh lesson. Technology and numbers alone could not defeat humans. Bravery, intelligence, teamwork, and unbreakable spirit were far more powerful than any weapon. From orbit, Lyric Talon and Ravakren watched as the humans celebrated quietly in the streets. They realized they had faced something greater than they expected, humanity itself. And across the galaxy, the message spread. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were clever, brave, and unstoppable. They could fight against any enemy, overcome any challenge, and survive in the face of impossible odds. Captain Luke Harper looked at his team one last time. We fought together, we protected our city, and we showed the galaxy what humanity is capable of. Remember this feeling, because one day it will guide us through even greater battles. The team nodded, understanding the truth. They were ordinary humans in appearance, but extraordinary in spirit. As the sun set over Grayson City, the battle was over. The Varkans had retreated, their pride shattered, their confidence broken. Humans had stood their ground, fought with unmatched skill and courage, and emerged victorious. The city of Grayson had survived. The humans had proven themselves, not just to the Varkans, but to the entire galaxy. And one truth was clear. Humanity was the finest warrior race the universe had ever seen. For Captain Luke Harper and his team, the fight had been long and dangerous, but the reward was clear. They had defended their home. They had shown the strength of human courage, intelligence, and determination. And they had sent a message that would echo across the stars. Humans fight, humans endure, and humans never back down. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget.